Hello, I'm Brigantia Blackbird of the Blackbird Grimoire. Happy Sunday. This is the daily forecast for May 12th, 2024. We have a waxing crescent moon. We are in the Taurus season, the Celtic Tree month of Willow, Beaver season, Pluto retrograde, and it is Mother's Day. So a very happy Mother's Day to all of the mothers out there. And before we proceed, I want to address a recent suggestion that was made as a possible addition to the daily forecast. An individual suggested that perhaps including solar flares when they occur, the effects that they've been known to have upon people and that sort of thing. So I did look into that. Unfortunately, from what I was reading initially, solar flares aren't really something that can be predicted not very well and not very far in advance, usually about a day, maybe if you're lucky. And as the daily forecast is recorded at least a week ahead of time, unfortunately, it isn't going to be possible to incorporate any information about current solar flares, because by the time it airs, it will have already have passed, and it won't serve a useful function to anyone. So my apologies, but I did want to let the individual who made that suggestion aware that I did look into it. It's just not feasible for this particular format. So, speaking of the stars, let's look at today's astrology. The sun is in Taurus, a fixed earth sign representing practicality. The moon is first quarter Cancer, cardinal water, sensitivity. Mercury is in Aries, cardinal fire, representing alertness. Venus is in Taurus, fixed earth, representing artistry. Mars is in Aries, cardinal fire, representing initiative. Jupiter is in Taurus, fixed earth, representing practicality. Saturn is in Pisces, mutable water, representing imagination. Uranus is in Taurus, fixed earth, representing renovation. Neptune is in Pisces, mutable water, representing imagination. And Pluto, of course, is retrograding Aquarius, fixed air, in which we examine our intentions. And the Pluto retrograde mantra is reflect, heal, and evolve. As we are in a waxing crescent moon, it is time to plan, brainstorm, and create. For the Cancer moon, some do's are do process your emotions, do be nurturing, do stock up your pantry, don't be too public about things, don't take on objective tasks if you can avoid it, and of course, don't give yourself over to overindulgence. Now, as it is the day of the sun, we of course hope that the sun will beam brightly upon the mothers of our world as we honor them, as well as our female ancestors and mother goddesses. And the Cancerian moon creates a perfect atmosphere, really, to make a fuss over our mothers and to celebrate their legacy to us. Today's tarot card is the Knight of Swords, representing precision, mastery, and being goal-oriented. So for the Knight of Swords, it's saying a little something about the attitude of focus we should probably bring to the day. With all of the good Taurian energy that is in our atmosphere right now, that is all about putting your nose to the grind, getting things done, not just having the creative process in the contemplative stages, but actually bringing something about to manifest from that process. And with the matter of being precision, it does matter whether or not we're doing a good job. Are we only kind of phoning it in, or are we putting forth proper effort? The Knight of Swords is inviting ourselves to reflect upon that and really look upon our actions and decide, are we doing things up to a standard that we would be proud of, or are we not? And if we're not, then of course make adjustments when and where appropriate. And this idea of mastery, not just settling for good enough, but truly becoming adept and excelling at whatever it is we are choosing to do. And this is things that the Knight of Swords is really encouraging us to bring to the day. Today's Celtic Triad reads, 3 littles which do much harm, a little of bad disposition, a little of injustice, and a little of negligence. So bad disposition, that's pretty straightforward. Nasty attitudes don't seem to have improved anyone's circumstances or made them easier to live with. So it might seem like a small thing. Oh, it's a bad mood. Oh, it's nothing. Oh, it's this and that. It could be having a broader impact than what you realize, especially if it is part of a pattern of behavior. And then the matter of injustice, the failure to judge or act rightly, that really sets into motion a myriad of poor consequences, whether we are talking about on the personal scale or if we're looking at the macro societal scale. Every time someone decides that I'll do what's expedient, not really what's proper or fitting in matters of justice, it tears a little bit out of the foundation, out of a society, out of a human soul. It's not a small thing to be unjust. So while it is very difficult to do so, it is something worth striving for. And then the matter of negligence. People who fail to attend to their duties and their responsibilities, it's not uncommon to also see a host of other self-destructive behaviors. And unfortunately, we are living in a culture that is actively cultivating the idea of negligence as something that is okay, even ideal, something to be preferred. Of if you don't feel like doing something, well, then I guess you don't have to. It's if we look at it. Unemotionally, I think it's pretty obvious to see what sort of outcomes we can expect from that particular pattern. And we can look at individuals, people, unfortunately, sometimes ourselves, just not doing what we really ought to be doing and how that didn't really help anything. And it's a difficult pattern to break, but it's to everyone's benefit if we do, if that is an issue we struggle with. Now today's magical intention, it is illumination. For that, the color is gold. The plant is the frankincense, which is a resin from a tree. The animal is the firefly, and the crystal is the pearl. Yes, I know pearls aren't technically crystals, but for the purposes of magical practice, much like amber, they are treated as a crystal, even if they are not meeting the scientific definition. Because for our purposes, it isn't so much about that scientific analysis and accuracy. It's more so what form and what function is something serving. So a thought I had when I was creating this particular slide is that confusion thrives in darkness, and casting light upon a quandary can reveal solutions. I found this to quite often be true. When we can't see our way forward, when we're enveloped in kind of a psychological darkness, let alone actual physical darkness, we just can't navigate properly. We're not able to think clearly. And so anything that we can do to illuminate our thinking or to illuminate our surroundings when we are feeling that kind of lost, that is only going to be to the benefit. We might not necessarily like the immediate options that are available to us, but at least we know what the options are at that point, and good things can eventually flow from that. So a few suggestions for today's pagan practice. Honor a solar deity, celebrate Mother's Day. I think that's an important thing to do to bring a bit of pagan spirit to this occasion. Might choose to reflect upon both the masculine and the feminine aspects of the sun, because depending upon which tradition, you will have masculine solar deities, you will have feminine solar deities, and there are things that we can learn from both. Also different how that essentially how that element of fire can manifest in these different psychological states and in different forms of the energy, whether it's going out or whether it is absorbing in. That can yield some interesting insights for us. So that might be something, if you have a moment, you might choose to contemplate. This would also be a good day to bless your home and, of course, ready yourself and the family for the coming week. Now, lastly, for your journal prompt, write pagan marriage vows that best reflect your personal convictions. Now, some of you watching, you may already be married, and you might have absolutely zero plans to ever renew your vows. Planning one hand fasting ceremony was definitely enough for me. The idea of going through similar effort to have a renewal of vows, that's my nerves have not recovered from my own wedding. So this may not necessarily be something that we ever need for ourselves, but you never know. You might choose to, get, the waste paper that the government wants so that you could officiate a wedding for someone else. And, if someone is, kind of struggling with how they want to bring together their ceremony, having suggestions of your own to bring to the table for them to at least contemplate or, maybe borrow or reword, that could be a helpful thing. So, and the point is, you never know. And I think it's worthwhile thinking about, how, as pagans, we really want to do these things, these important rites of passages, of making sure that it is our beliefs, our perspective, our worldview that is really represented in these ceremonies, because it shouldn't be about other people, especially not something as intimate and personal as the formation of a marriage. That should absolutely be just about as reflective of the couple's beliefs as what it possibly can be. So that is what I have for you guys today. Come back again tomorrow. There will be another edition of the Daily Forecast, and leave your thoughts about this one in the comments section below, or if you would prefer, you can email me at brigantia@protonmail.com. But that'll do it for today, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.